Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the final match of the G1 League North American European qualifiers. We have one more team that's about to punch their ticket to China. Who will it be? fnatic.eu, who just got done having a tough match versus the Alliance but aren't out of it yet, or will it be Team Liquid, who have battled their way through the losers bracket to get to this point? We're about to find out. On the side of Fnatic, Fly will not be here. They are using a stand-in due to some connection issues, but with all that out of the way, this one's a best of three, and it's going to be a bit of a unique broadcast because we have the pleasure and honor of introducing not one, not two, but three casters for today. I have both Winter and Gods with me. Winter, Gods, how you doing, guys? Someone talk first. I should have asked just one of you to talk, but I wanted to see what would happen.
I was going to talk, but I wanted to do like this intentionally meta awkward silence just on purpose, and it worked perfectly. I'm glad Winter didn't talk as well.
Well done. Too polite. Everyone's got to yell over each other. But Winter, I don't know how closely you've been following the G1 League qualifiers, but I know you do watch quite a bit as far as the Western Dota teams go. I think more so than a lot of other Asian players. For example, you talked to Ice Ice Ice. He couldn't care less about the Western teams, but you follow them closely. How do you feel about this matchup?
Yeah, I've been watching. Actually, I think I watched all the games of Team Liquid, and they've been playing very well.
They had a bit of a struggle yesterday against the Alliance, but I feel like a lot of that.
I missed the games yesterday.
that was in the TPL, but the Alliance is on fire lately, and Team Liquid, they may be reaching maximum capacity because they were playing a lot of games, and I imagine their minds and their hearts were focused on this potential trip to China and G1.
They played 10 games, right, yesterday? I know they played so many games yesterday.
They played a lot. They had G1 League, which was at like 2 in the morning, and then TPL was at like 8 or 9 in the morning. They had a best of 3 versus VP, which went the full 3 games. Then they had to play the best of 5 against Alliance, which was only 2 games because they lost at 3-0. They had to win a deficit, but it was a lot of games and games in different time zones, so it made it really hard for them. But G1, like as LD said, is kind of where their focus is.
And they're going to go for an interesting draft here. So they get what I imagine will be the Korok Templar Assassin going mid. They give up the Magnus Lone Druid. Heroes that Fnatic just love to use. These kind of split pushers, these heroes that you can sit back, play defensively, and then in the mid game you have 1 or 2 big fights. You take a lot of towers and do big structural damage. For Liquid, they're a much different style. This is a team that likes to be aggressive and take the fight to you in the early and especially the mid game. So an interesting clash.
Yeah, we get a Korok TA, which I'm excited for. Whenever Korok's on TA, it's always sort of one of those big influential heroes. Liquid don't go for the Bulba Clockwork. They actually get a very early Darkseer.
Yeah, Winter, what do you make of this? Any particular reason why they would choose a Darkseer here when the Clockwork has been so effective for them?
Not very sure, but I think giving up the Lone Druid and the Magnus, and mostly it's not something I would really like to do because Lone Druid has been so effective recently. I think among all of the competitive matches, Lone Druid has been winning almost all the games. Whoever has Lone Druid, whoever wins the game.
You know, it hasn't necessarily been that way in the Western scene. I completely agree with you when it comes to Asia. And I do feel like, I actually think it's interesting because of a team like Fnatic who, or even the Alliance who, I wouldn't say rely on Lone Druid, but really favor the hero. I don't see them ever getting that hero when they go to China for the G1 finals. Not only will those teams be happy to respect ban it, but I think it's more just the Chinese teams, the Asian teams.
Standard issue ban.
Yeah, they don't give it away.
I think by then, new version will come out, and the 2 heroes that you get not heavily nerfed, but like most 2 priority heroes to be nerfed is Lifestealer and Lone Druid.
Yeah, especially the Lifestealer, right? I mean, yeah. God, that hero, so good. He beats Lone Druid 1v1 in lane.
Yeah, coming back to your question about the Darkseer, mostly it's because they wanted to have something to deal with the Magnus. They have Magnus RP in the fight, and they wanted to have something for themselves as well. The Vacuum plus Wall could counter initiate the Magnus RP.
You know what, too? The other thing I've noticed is a lot of the Western teams, I'll mention Dignitas as an example, they love to get Darkseer and TA, because these two are really good partners.
Yeah, I think also for me, the Darkseer right over something like a Clockwork is they'd like to get Clockwork. Initially, it was a pick designed to counter the Keeper of the Light fad because you could just jump on the Keeper of the Light, keep out of the fight. Yesterday, when Team Liquid were playing it, they were using it sort of to jump on the Jakiro. None of these heroes are all that good for jumping on. They don't have that squishy backline support who sits back spamming spells. So, to me, Darkseer is just a better teamfight option, and you're going to need good teamfight against a Mag, Lone Druid, Chen. This is a lot about pushing for Fnatic.
Yeah, and I won't be surprised if Team Liquid needs to get some form of AoE to deal with the early push that's gonna be coming for sure. Longjut plus Chen.
And they're going to need a lot. And you can see Liquid's actually banning out heroes that have a lot of AoE on their own. The Gyrocopter, the Alchemist, something we've seen Mouse Sports run as a support, but Fnatic is a team that's known for running multiple carries. I think more so than almost anyone else. I mean, maybe a team like Dignitas, but they love their dual or even tri-core strategies.
Fnatic is the second most greediest. The most greediest is Dignitas.
It works pretty well for both teams, at least so far in the Western scene. I'm very curious to see how that might match up against some of the Asian squads.
I feel like it's one of those very hit or miss things. If they go up against a team who's not going to punish it, and if the Chinese teams don't do their homework, maybe they don't. Dignitas could actually pull out some surprise wins, but once teams figure out Dignitas' play, I feel like they'll just be like, okay, we have a way of dealing with it.
And then it's up to Dignitas to adapt, which I certainly feel they have a decent shot at, but we'll just have to wait and see. Clockwork is still in the pool. I don't imagine Liquid would go for it. Fnatic's not really a team that runs it, but he is a pretty strong and annoying hero to deal with for the lone shirt. So with all that out of the way, I guess, what do you see that's left in the pool that either of these teams would have their eyes on? Winter, any thoughts?
I don't think they'll be going for the Clockwork, like you said, because it's the same role as Baba plays. He's going to play the Darkseer, most likely.
Yeah.
And they won't be needing any more position 3 heroes. For them, I guess they'll be going for the Lina, most likely, to have the burst damage, to kill down the Magnus or the Lone Jute, or even the Chen, so that the Chen doesn't have the time to heal. I think they've been picking Lina in most of their games recently.
And they're worried about that push.
Support.
And they're worried about that push. They ban out the Lycan now. And you mentioned the Lina. That's Fluff and Stuff has been playing that. Like Arsart was playing with Shrek at the International too. Just hitting these blind Light Strike arrays, hitting 2-3 heroes with them. 7-0 and 8 on his Lina in one game, and his team had like 18 kills. He has been a man possessed when that hero is in his hands.
Yeah. Their tour of Navi, then their tour of EG was largely due to Fluff's play, and 2 of those games, one against each of those teams was on Lina. Fnatic here, I mean, talking about what Liquid want to go, Fnatic, they need another support as well as some kind of, I guess, semi-carry. They've got the Mag for mid, Lone Druid, who generally is played by Trixie in one of the side lanes, so if they want to go for some kind of a trial in here, they need some kind of a farmer for error.
And let's see what they go for now. Liquid is going to have the pick. But if it comes to a big 5-man engagement, both teams have their strengths. And for Fnatic, you imagine they'll be quite happy to, I think, not really force fights, but more counter-initiate and kind of play defensively, rely on their ability to push towers safely with the Bear, the Chen creeps. And for them, the Magnus Blink Dagger will be absolutely crucial because right now they don't have really anyone else who can take the fights.
Yeah, Magnus Blink Dagger initiation is their main way of fighting. And Liquid is gonna go for Luna, which means they want to fight head-on 5 versus 5. They have Luna and Darkseer. It's also a very strong 5-man against what Fnatic has to push down the towers.
Yeah, it's a strong fight.
It's also do you like their chances?
Luna. Yeah, so something Liquid has really favored is getting this TC Luna. Somehow he always seems to end up with like 700, 800 gold per minute. At least every time I've been watching it. I don't know if it's fate, if it's just incredibly good decision making. I would say out of the Western carries, TC is probably the most patient. I would say I feel like he makes the least mistakes out of, aside from maybe someone like Black. But as far as the top teams, TC has really been solid, and they'll go for the Luna here.
Yeah, TC, it's one of those guys, like, can you ever look at him and say, oh, he had a bad game there? You look at some of the amazing carry plays in the Western scene, be it like a player like Loda, who obviously there's all the jokes going around about Loda throwing. He's a fantastic carry player. He's won Alliance a number of games. Alliance are the best team in the West right now, but he's a player known for being sort of having his on and off days. As for TC, he never has a single off day, and Luna, as you said, one of his better heroes. Fnatic pick up the Jug, which is, it really looks to be that early push. You have the Healing Ward in there as well now.
Healing Ward plus Spirit Bear and Chen creeps. It's very strong.
It's very annoying, is basically how I feel about it. In Liquid, they did not solve their counter-pushing problems. They won't do it in the end, but they will get an Enchantress who gives them a good early game option, some good lane control, and potentially the early ganking, but they haven't gotten any AoE. The Luna Glaives, you can't really count them until later. Enchantress Creep's not reliable at that, so they're just feeling like they're going to win the laning stage or at least hold their own there, and then just never let Fnatic group.
Yeah, they're going to form a formidable tri-lane, I guess, with Nyx Assassin, Darkseer, and Enchantress. There's going to be creep stealing around with the Chen and Enchantress.
Jungle Wars. Jungle Wars. Yeah. I'm excited.
Well, Fnatic, they grab a CM, which is, I guess, is just your stable support hero. And I think for Liquid, the big thing is here, like you say, you got to win the laning stage, and then it doesn't really matter that you have the slightly inferior team fight. If you get really ahead early on, you can just win team fights on item advantage alone.
So Winter, they went for CM as the final pick. Are we going to see some dual roam? You think they'll be looking for a lot of kills early on Fnatic?
Depends on how Liquid lanes their heroes. If they lane an aggressive tri lane, the CM and Chen will be there to protect whatever they put in a safe lane, which is I think most likely the Juggernaut. And Lone Druid will do very well against Luna if they decide to put Luna 1 versus 1, the Lone Druid at the safe lane of Liquid.
Yeah, let's see what they go for here. And I'm very curious to see how the draft develops. Or the lanes develop. But after seeing the draft, any favorites? Anybody have a preference or think a team has a clear edge?
I think Fnatic is better, in my opinion, because Liquid is the team that is under pressure to shut down and win the early phase before Fnatic is able to group up and take down all their towers. If Liquid loses the early phase, they can't defend against the push.
And what do you make of this? They're actually sending Hani offlane on the Magnus with early boots picked up, and they're gonna. It looks like dual lane mid. So I mentioned the Magnus is a crucial hero for them. Hani's gonna have a bit of a tougher time finding that farm.
Oh, this is their way of dealing with the Korok TA. They're like, let's not send a solo mid. Let's actually beat Korok in the mid lane. Have an offlaner, an old offlaner, the Mag, but with the first item boots and a point in skewer, he shouldn't be able to get ganked here, even by an Enchantress, because Nyx Assassin level 1 stun is not all that great.
So they really have to win this middle lane, right? If they don't, they're in trouble because they won't have the big initiator in the mid game. Since Hani, he's not gonna farm much.
Yeah, and Crystal Maiden plus Juggernaut is a very good dual combination to take out all the reflection charges with the Blade Fury, so you can kill off the TA easily.
I fully agree. And with all that being said, let's introduce the teams. On the side of fnatic.eu, we've got Trixie playing that safe lane Lone Druid, getting some farm that normally he's got to struggle a little bit more for. Era going into the dual lane mid with the Juggernaut, potentially even a dual roam for No Tail on his Chen. Micro skills in the mix, and DNA Dumix standing in for Fly, who unfortunately can't be here this game despite wanting to because he's having some connection issues. Last but not least, towards the bottom lane, it will be Hani on his Magnus. He's played actually from California, and despite what some players would say a significant delay, he had some great RPs yesterday.
Well, he's on US East server here in Game 1, so that could actually play into his favor.
Yeah, it could be a significant issue. On the side of Team Liquid, we'll have IX Mike handling the defensive tri-lane Nyx Assassin, or at least jungling off the bat. Fluff going to be on the Enchantress. Looks like Hani wants to body block this level 1 camp, and or maybe just do a little harassment, but IX Mike will usher him away. And TC on the safe lane Luna, a signature hero for him. Boba playing that Darkseer off lane, and last but not least, it's going to be Korok on the TA mid.
Well, as far as lanes go for me, I think this is, for Liquid, pretty good. The one lane they have to worry about is Korok at the mid lane, but the Darkseer at top should do okay farming, can get a fast mech, and bottom lane, if they can sort of prevent Mag from getting any sort of early farm up, it's a decent hero to actually shut down and slow down that Blink Dagger by a lot.
And positioning will be crucial for Korok mid. I mean, you mentioned this is a player, this is a hero that can easily die Winter to Blade Fury, the damage over time. And something Fluff will look to do is kind of give him relieve that pressure a little bit. Throw a creep in, now he'll go back to the jungle, just kind of sending the Centaur to bully him a bit. And the one thing is bottom lane, I don't know that they can actually kill Hani. They'll go for an Impale here, there will be a little harassment, but this is not the best killing combo in a dual lane.
Nope.
Yeah, but that's the best thing they can do to at least zone out the Magnus out of XP range.
And then I guess the one lane we haven't talked about is the top lane. How do you feel about this? Darkseer versus a Lone Druid, but the Darkseer isn't creep skipping. I imagine he's worried about No Tail showing up and ganking him.
Yeah, he's worried about the Chen in the jungle. If it goes like a normal 1 versus 1, he's definitely gonna do what Admiral Bulldog does, just drag the creeps to the small camp and farm the neutral creeps and all of the enemy creeps as well at the same time. Try his best to get more and more farm than the Lone Druid, because he's not going to be able to stop the Lone Druid from farming any creeps in the lane.
Hani finds a haster in bottom. Cheeky little play from him in mid lane. They're going on to Korok. There's your Ice Path, or your Ice Blast to start it. He's quickly losing HP. There's no refraction in sight. He may go down here. No, not going to be our first blood. But the killing potential is definitely there.
Yeah, and Korok with no bottle yet, he doesn't really have a whole lot of regen here, and he's still 170 gold away from this bottle, which means once this Blade Druid comes off cooldown, Korok can't really go into last hit at all, which is pretty much right now. And
so then it's up to Fluff and Stuff, and he's got one of the most... This is almost as good as Wildkin Tornado, this hero.
Yeah.
Constant chain lightning spam.
I totally agree.
Mana.
Oh, yeah, they buffed the mana pool recently. It's very, very strong.
Even the Satire is very helpful. You can land 6 shockwaves.
So we're going to see just a kind of a passive laning stage, aside from that dual lane mid, and Winter, if they're not getting kills mid, what do you think? Do you think it's good enough just to maybe slow Korok down, or do they really need to be getting kills here?
I think if they can't kill and Korok gets levels, it's just very good for Korok. As long as he doesn't die, he gets levels. Even if he gets a lot less farm than what you usually see on a TA solo mid, but I think it's at least the best he can do for. And if fnatic doesn't even get one kill, I think the dual lane can be considered failed.
And Hani's getting levels too. Now, at least he'll hit level 2, so he's struggled a bit. He's not getting nearly as much as Bulba, but is going to start getting something now, and I guess that's the question. They're giving up a lot for this. Sure, they're running this dual lane mid, they're slowing Korok down somewhat, but Hani's getting very little, and I don't know how much Fnatic can actually take fights in the mid game if Hani's shut down.
Yeah, Liquid are getting farm in all 3 lanes, and as well as XP on all their heroes. Hani, sure, he's getting some XP here and there, but his farm is not going to be anywhere comparable to any of the other core heroes on the map. I guess the TA's been shut down similarly, but Korok's a hero who can really catch up pretty fast.
And they have a lot of other damage dealers. They have this Luna who provides a ton of damage, lots of nuke damage from their supports, whereas Fnatic only has one initiator. That's the Magnus, so I feel it's a trade that Liquid are quite happy with so far.
Yeah,
and with the Wilkin and middle lane, I think it's gonna be better. Things are gonna get better for Korok.
Oh man, talk about better. Look at Dumix. This is no fun. No fun for a CM with no boots. Can't run for that tornado, can't harass either.
There is 2 points in the healing ward. Era's just, I mean, he's already used it once, and with this fast bottle, he actually has the mana to support using healing ward
Bottom lane,
multiple
they're
times.
smoked out behind.
Oh, this would be a big kill. Because Hani's, he's so in trouble right now. Even Shockwave's completely screwed. An easy first blood, and, well, that big initiator. Now middle lane. Blade Fury as well. Korok taking some big damage. He's gonna man up and look for a kill. He's driving them both back. He finds one. Can he find 2? Almost Dumix will fall. Barely able to live. No-Tail with the Shockwave. And wow, No-Tail already level 6. I didn't actually see his jungling, but I imagine got a Wildkin and was doing some early farms of stacks.
Yeah,
and
he did stack the cam earlier with the Wildkin.
So that's the one good thing for Fnatic, because they have this really fat Chen, but they're giving up a lot. Magnus completely shut down. Liquid now lead by 1,500 gold and 1,000 experience.
Yeah, they got a tier 1 tower following the kill on Hani, and that's what Liquid are great at. They time that gank, not just so they get the first blood, but they secure themselves a guaranteed tower unless Fnatic TP and multiple heroes, but Fnatic don't have any heroes to actually TP there.
And at the same time, their offlaner Bulba is getting a lot. Level 6, sure. You know, under a bit of harassment from this lone Druid, but actually keeping even in terms of CS, you gotta say.
Look at the CS.
Yeah, Liquid is just getting way more.
Yeah, Liquid, well, I guess the one thing for them that they do have to worry about is, well, the fact that these towers are going to get pressure. There's a very high level Chen who's got 1,700 gold. He can just pick up a mech in like 2-3 minutes now. And then Fnatic, their group up and push is pretty scary with a Lone Druid, especially Lone Druid, a hero who we don't see rushing the Radiance anymore, just going for the fast sort of eco armlet build. Liquid don't have the AoE to defend that sort of a push. It's a question of whether this early game lead is big enough for them.
I completely agree with you. I feel like this Chen, great start. We have to see No-Tail do big things and Tangle and Bulba top, but should be okay. He's having this powerful start, but if they don't make something happen with it as soon as the mech comes online, if that first push fails, I think Fnatic are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they have to make the push work for them, and with that gang, Korok getting a kill first before dying, I would consider the lane already failed for them. The TA will be so high level now, which he is not supposed to even have level 6 by this time, considering the pressure he had.
Yeah, and even things like Chen showing up mid, it wasn't just a dual lane. At times, there were 3 heroes here, and Chen creeps, maybe you call it 4. So, doing fantastically, Korok is. And for Liquid...
he made the right decision there to man up, because there was nowhere he could have ran, and he was able to kill off the Juggernaut, because that was so worth it.
And now we'll see Fluff just continue to jungle, and he's already looking towards an urn, almost has it picked up. So, as far as item progressions go, Fnatic is really struggling. It's just going to be coming down to the Lone Druid and the Chen to carry this. And, I mean, speaking of the Lone Druid, Trixie is missing quite a few hits under the tower.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to have... His CS is very low as a solo.
And Hani looks to be in trouble. IX Mike with a nice little body block. There will be a skewer. It doesn't matter. Down he goes. The Carapace. That's another death for Hani.
Mid lane.
And now on the mid lane. Korok on the run. Here comes the creeps, but a trap catches everything. The trap's normally not the savior of a team, but in this case, big work.
But the Enchantress creeps were there to bail him out anyway, so I think he would have been fine regardless.
And Korok's level 7. Talk about getting levels.
Oh, Liquid want to fight mid. They've TP'd in Luna, and I think they're going to try and defend this T1 tower.
Top lane, Trixie is gonna get solo kill.
Oh, and he goes down solo. Bulba's already level 9. They're looking at a tier 1, but they're giving up so much for it. 4-1 the score. Korok might even go in here. No, they'll let the tower. Oh, gets the deny. Big play.
Oh my god, he even got the deny.
This is so bad. This is so bad for Fnatic.
Yeah, they bring actually TC mid without actually achieving a whole lot. This does give IX Mike the free lane at bottom, and I think this is because they want this fast arcane boots on him. He's just 100 gold away. Also close to level 6. If he can be level 6 with arcane boots around the 9-10 minute mark, that's pretty big for Liquid as well.
Honey will rotate in bottom, looking to go on Ix Mike. He's just going to kind of run to the left for the skewer. Is it going to be there? There's a Carapace available. Doesn't get it off yet, and looks like he may go down here to a Shockwave. Yeah, Chalk actually TPing out. This is a big play if Ix Mike gets out. He does. Oh, what a cheeky little play. Baits out the Frostbite as well as the skewer, and you got to say one of those really should have been saved there.
Yeah, he waited for the frostbite, then he just TP out after that with the spike carapace. It was very good play by them.
And it's really up to Dumix to be patient and not use that too early.
I think without it, the problem was they weren't getting that skewer off too easily. Error at mid lane actually taking a lot of damage from Korok.
Yeah, Blade Fury comes in. Korok, is he going to man up here? No, no refraction. But already he's bullying the dual lane, and that's really the trouble is, we talked about it, they have to find early kills or come mid game. Tian's a hero that doesn't really need that many items to have an impact, and right now Liquid are just getting whatever they want off of this map. Their mechanism coming soon for Bulba, Buckler already up, and No Tail. He's almost got his own mech, it's flying out now, but what are they going to do with it? I don't really know if this mech is enough to push. RP, is it even online? It's not. It will come soon, but it's going to be hard for Fnatic to make something happen, and I feel if they don't, Liquid are going to take this as the game goes later.
And they're going to have to worry about Nyx Assassin, who's just about to be hitting level 6. So the Vendetta ganks are coming soon. The Dire team with no Sentry Wards to prepare for this. And the kills are just going to keep on rolling for Liquid. They're already at 4 kills to 1. And these kills, with their lineup, they get towers.
There's a smoke gang on mid lane coming.
This is so much. This is so much invested for Korok. Can they even find him? Dumix is going to give it up. Well, maybe not fully, but Korok's suspicious.
I like Korok's item build. He goes for the treads here, which sort of gives him a bit more survivability.
And now Ix Mike is going to run in. Big Impale. No, only catches one. No Tail. Taking some damage. The Lucid Beam comes through. The mech is deployed, but isn't enough. Hand of God as well. Still alive. Omni Slash not doing a thing. In fact, in the end, the heals from Liquid are quite potent in their own right. Blade Fury 2. Nothing doing here for Fnatic. Just can't find a kill. And that was a Hand of God and an early mech not being used for a heck of a lot. And in fact, Liquid, they're on the hunt.
Yeah, they're looking for Doomix here. Crystal Main may be brought down by the creeps from Enchantress from behind. And this game's a bit of a nightmare for both teams, as we're going to see actually no Mag get scored out mid lane as well. Honey brought down by Korok, and Liquid are just taking down Fnatic one by one. No Tail caught sort of trapped between some creeps as well as Fluff's Enchantress. He's the next to take a fall, and Error just has to scurry his way out of there. I don't know about this TP from Trixie, because this fight already lost to Fnatic.
Fnatic are just crumbling under the pressure. He's going to fall here, and now Liquid looking at a tier 1 mid of their own. I mean, maybe they don't go Roche yet, because Fnatic respawns so quickly, but this is big map control, a big advantage. And that was the first use of the mechanism. It just doesn't look good right now for Fnatic. Nothing is working for them.
I think it all came down to the fact, because of how they lane their lanes. If they would have went back for the normal Magnus mid and Lone Druid on the safe lane and just leave the CM and Juggernaut on the safe lane without taking much risk, like I mentioned at the start of the game, if they didn't get anything done with the dual lane middle to pressure the TA, they would be in a lot of trouble.
And Liquid, they get 2 towers. They get a tier 1 top. That's Bulba's mechanism, I believe, just about complete. In fact, it is. An Ogre Club for TC. Winter, what are they going to do when a BKB is up on TC, when, say, Korok has his Blink Dagger, his drums, whatever he goes for, and they have a mech? And not to mention, I would say Liquid probably have the better 5-man. For Fnatic, I felt their 5-man was based on not necessarily being stronger, but just getting the early items and map control and then snowballing from there.
They can't afford to lose so much in the early phase, and IX Mike is going to get No Tail.
No Tail. No fun for him. Easy. Easy kill. And they could just do this all day. And
maybe even some Chen creeps. No, they're going to back off.
Maybe a root here? Nope, nothing doing.
He's no Admiral Bulldog.
Yeah. Trixie needs some training. There's your Entangle, but it comes with a Carapace too, and he needs another one here. If he finds another, maybe he gets a kill. Not going to happen.
Wow.
If they lose one more fight, the game is over for Fnatic.
The good news is it's a best of 3, but this is not the way you want to start that best of 3, and I can't help feel like Fnatic, I don't want to make any excuses for them, but not having Fly in this game, it doesn't seem to be helping. You know, from
Yeah,
the
it's a ve-
laning to some of the early movements.
It's a very important game, and you really want to have your captain playing.
Well, can they bounce back in game 2? That's really going to be the question. If they don't go on to win this game.
This is all or nothing, LD. They're gonna go for the rush.
I don't... Can they get it? That's the question, because Bulba's coming now. They don't have a medallion. This isn't dropping all that quickly. Oh, this could be so bad if they get caught.
I think if they lose here, the game is over.
They may just tap out immediately, in fact. Bulba's going to come in, looking for a vacuum, looking for a wall. Deploys the wall, vacuums a few in. Not too much damage yet. Doomix has to be careful. Era backing off in a tangle on Bulba. Now a shockwave coming in. The bear being ushered away by Korok. A drum charge was deployed, and, well, they're going to back
They
off.
can't fight. The Magnus doesn't have enough mana to skewer and RP.
And even if he did, Liquid, they're looking at a mechanism up already, an urn. Everybody's got HP, and you're fighting into Eclipse in the pit. I don't think they can take a fight here, despite having RP. They're just gonna have to give this up. They may try to fight, but I just don't see it
Essentially,
happening.
if they lose the Aegis, they are gonna be just so far behind already.
It's not
I think they
looking
might
good.
try to fight.
Omni Slash
Yeah,
comes
they're
through,
gonna
a
try
beautiful Omni Slash, only hitting heroes. TC dropping low, vacuum on a few, skewer, RP, the perfect RP, but is it enough? That's the question. Eclipse turns this one around. TC, hatred of his life, on the run, as well as Hani, who dropped an RP, hit a few, but is gonna get surrounded and brought down. Bandas at the same time, though, in the midst of all this, they're chasing Korok away. The bear slowed down. Bulba comes back into the fight. Buyback from IX Mike, looking to do what he can here. And the bear, if it drops, they do it for
Healing ward.
resummon.
They need to kill the healing ward.
They're still not focusing it. It will go down now. Trixie on the run up the hill. Korok running him down. Bulba isolates him and brings him down. And Roshan sitting low. Very, very big trouble. There's no RP. You can buy back all that mag if you want. Maybe it won't matter. Liquid, they take the fight at Roche. They're now up by 10k gold, 10k experience, and looking at potentially game here.
Yeah, I don't know what Fnatic are going to be able to do here. Buyback from the lone druid, but it's not really going to achieve a whole lot. He may just lose his spirit band. If this spirit band
Oh my
dies,
God.
there's no resummon.
That really is.
I think
mean,
it's GG.
there's no RP. Liquid can just go down mid or bottom.
They can't defend any of the towers anymore.
If you're Liquid, you go heal, and then you just take all the tier 2s in the next 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, there's no bear, there's no RP, there's nothing for them. They lost the Aegis.
So you go back to it, Winter, and you just say the lanes. That's pretty much all it came down to.
Yeah, it was very risky for them to lane like this. It was greedy, but if it worked out, it will be good for them because they'll be able to shut down the TA. But if it didn't work out, and their lone druid lost his lane as well, so that's why it's so bad for them.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And we'll see them looking to just kind of push in the middle lane a bit. TC, Ogre Club up. BKB has to be coming soon. Meanwhile, Smoke to the left.
Smoke.
IX Mike surged in. Oh, this could be a big gank. He's
It's gonna
coming.
be no tail again.
No fun for No Tail. Gets impaled, eats a mana burn. TC to fly. Korok jumps in and slices off his head. And now they go on the tier 2 mid. So not only are they going to take towers, but they are also going to find kills. And for Fnatic, what are they really going to do about it? I think at this point you're almost just talking about game 2 because really,
They
isn't
can't do
gonna
anything
happen.
already, LD, to be honest.
Yeah.
It really looks like we're getting close there. I mean, you look at the mag, you mentioned how he had no mana. His mana pool is just, you have to have arcane boots on this hero, and because he was in the off lane, he got no farm whatsoever, and we're just seeing Liquid, they've taken the tier 2 mid, they're going to
lane.
rotate for some other tier 2s.
Trixie,
Bulba,
no bear.
he's
He's
man
being
fighting.
bullied. This is just the hero bear trying to man fight, and that's not
Yeah.
going to cut it. In comes the TPs, the reaction from Liquid, and this looks to be a very, very dead bear. Vacuumed in, killed off solo by Bulba. That's bad news, bears. Pun
Interesting
intended.
wall of replica. Maybe that was meant to be a vacuum, or it was just like a shame wall of replica.
Yeah, I don't think they need it, but probably not the ideal use to say the least.
You know what we always say? I'm just merely securing the kills, guys.
I like barely better. I'm just barely securing the kill. We're getting the puns on today, and for Liquid, they can split push, they can farm, and they can 5-man. And I think either way they win the fights.
Yeah, well, tier 2 top now is going to be the next go down. This series, just for people tuning in, this is to decide who's the second team going to China. Alliance have already qualified, being Fnatic yesterday, and the winner of this match is going to China as well to compete for, I believe it's like $63,000 US for grabs between the top teams at the LAN finals. It's pretty damn massive.
Liquid making it look easy in game 1. They're going to take the second to last outer tower here top. Easy pickings for them, and overwhelming Fnatic across the board from the laning stage, the early movement. Korok handling a dual lane mid. Did end up going down, but took a hero with them. Everything has been going their way, and they are poised to take game 1. They haven't actually broken the high ground, but you gotta feel it's only a matter of time at this point. And if they take game 1, they're 1 win away, like you said, from going to China, and what an event it's going to be if Liquid is there along with the Alliance. As much as I think some people, you know, they're like, oh no, Na'Vi, not a big tournament, but these teams
If
have
they
earned
catch
their
out
way
Honey
there.
here, it's gonna be a game.
No buyback, or even if he has it, I mean, doesn't really matter. He needs those arcane boots. Not gonna find it. Nothing doing for Hani. They're just getting bulldozed. Absolutely bulldozed.
Well, no other towers. Liquid in a good position to push down this bottom lane. It looks like, I think BKB coming for TC. Yeah, BKB's there. GG gets called, and without Raxus down, I don't even blame him for this call. They do not have a good comeback lineup.
Yeah, 20k gold deficit, 20k experience deficit, 16-2 in 18 minutes. It felt like, I don't want to say a pub stomp, but it really was a stomp this game. Not even close after the first 34 minutes. Came down to the lane selection from Fnatic not working out, and there was no comeback mechanic for them. For Liquid, even if they lost those lanes, they might have had a shot. And in the end, Fnatic, the lineup just falls apart for them, so they are going to be trailing 0-1 in the best of 3.
Well, good guy Liquid get us back on track because we did start a bit late early today. The Chinese admins were stressing out, but Liquid, they help us out. We're back on track with that fast game.
It's a best of 3, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere because Game 2 is coming up next. And Fnatic, they may have taken a blow, a knockback here, but they have not been knocked out of the event just yet. Winner of this match will punch their ticket to China. It's a best of 3. It's Team Liquid leading that best of 3 now 1-0. They notch Game 1 onto their belt, but they've got to take a second, and for Fnatic, you hope they bounce back, at least force a Game 3 to make this one interesting. I'm LD, they are Gods in Winter, we are David, and Chan. With all that being said, guys, stay tuned. We'll be coming back soon with game number 2. Winter needs to change his name, man. I'm just saying. That did not feel smooth. All right, stay tuned, guys. Game 2 coming up soon.